Hey guys, Jeff Kamke here with Wealth Energetics, giving you information about abundance, finances, making a transformational shift in your life to accomplish what you desire. I want to share with you guys a little bit about the way I view abundance and some of the beliefs that I hold around abundance. See if you guys align with some of these. I'd like to know what yours are. Share them below. And with any of these videos, if you like what I have to talk about, share them, please. Share them on social media, share them with your friends, your family, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Click the notifications button so that you can be alerted when I put out new videos around finances, success, abundance, and health. So some of the beliefs that I have around abundance, when I talk about abundance, abundance to me is how much abundance are we seeing and experiencing in all areas of our life? It's not just about money. It's not just about fame. It's not just about success. It's not just about health. It's about, are we experiencing a plenitude in all the areas of our life? Not that all areas will be perfect and great all the time, right? But we're seeking and growing for more. We're expanding into more abundance as we grow through life, right? So some of the things that I've observed, some of the things that I've grown to understand and believe, I'm going to go through a few of my particular beliefs about abundance and why they mean so much to me. So for me, it goes back to, I was raised in the church. I'm a Christian. God created us to expand and live abundantly. I believe that God created an abundant universe. I believe that there are enough resources for everyone to have everything they need. I believe that we could all be billionaires if we wanted to be. And I believe that God calls us to be much more than just middle class. I believe he calls us to be much more than mediocre. I believe he calls us to be a part of the fullness of abundance and serve from that place of abundance and have our resources full. One of my mentors, Dr. Sue Morter, she was on a podcast or interview years ago, and I think it was with Lisa Nichols, who was in the movie The Secret. They're talking about the principle of drink from my saucer, not from my cup, to where you are so full, you're overflowing, and that overflow is what impacts other people. And that to me is the vision of abundance that I believe God created us to not only have, but to experience to the fullest. I also believe that we should be growing ourselves as much as we grow our money. So this isn't directly a financial principle about my beliefs about wealth, but it is about, we need to be doing the inner work along with looking to grow money. So we can have marketing, we can learn sales and communications, we can create websites and do webinars, we can do networking, we can, get into network marketing. There's all these things we can do in our business in ways to increase our income, right? We can do investing and there's all kinds of stuff, right? But if we aren't also growing ourselves in a parallel way, if we get our money way too out of balance with who we are as a core being and the beliefs that we hold, our habits, just our vibration, our consciousness, depending on what level you want to talk at here, if we aren't bringing those things up along with money, you're going to run into trouble. And we see this a lot of times with very wealthy people. They have the private jets and the mansions and they can do whatever they want, but their health is failing. Or they have all that money, they got the Rolls Royces, they can do whatever they want, they've got the booming businesses, but they've been divorced 4 times, right? So there's this incongruency, this lopsidedness that they've got money, but the other areas of their life are suffering. And a lot of times money can't buy a marriage. A lot of times money can't always buy our health back. And so we need to be doing the cultivation of the inner work along with pursuing an increase in income, whatever that looks like to you. Another belief I have is that we need to be doing the deep inner work. We can't just be reading books and being tickled by some good success quotes of, oh, be better, be positive, let it go. Those work to a point, but if we aren't willing to dig deep and really change our core frequency, some might call it our subconscious programming, right? If we aren't doing anything that removes the interference from where we are now to where we desire to be or to the fullness of what God created us to be, we will be living an incomplete life and we'll probably be having more struggle. We'll probably be disconnected from that flow of abundance that I just mentioned. So we have to be doing things that get rid of the subconscious interference. And when we do that, then that fully restores our connection to God, to source, for that abundance to flow. because God created the world and the universe with abundance. If we aren't participating in that abundance or with that abundance, something is interfering with that flow. And in chiropractic principles, there's this whole idea of above, down, inside out, which is really the healing force, the life force that comes from our connection to God down into our bodies. The chakras, the energy system takes that information, disseminates it out into our nervous system, and then from there, the nervous system, our brain, the gut, all these different areas that have the neurons and the control centers for motor control and sensory, then dictates what we think and what we do and what moves and how our blood pressure is and how our hormones are, right? And that is the ultimate of then what we bring to the table, how we show up in the world and the results that we produce. So if we are eliminating interference, we are improving the communication from the spiritual realm down into the 3D, into our bodies to make our desires and purpose manifest in the 3D, because we know that thoughts are things. What we think about is actually a measurable frequency that leaves our brain. And we know that through quantum physics, that thoughts are particles or are waves that then turn into particles, right? That's the manifestation. That's the power that we have to do things. So removing the interference is so key in us creating in the 3D what we are here to do, whether that's buildings, whether that's happiness, whether that's businesses, whether that's money, whether that's service, whatever it looks like. That is one of the big keys to making what we have to bring to the table manifest here for us. Another one of my beliefs is to make sure that we are challenging the status quo and asking for different questions so that we're getting different results. I was talking about this with a podcast guest recently, Katie Corbin, and we're talking about this very idea that if we aren't willing to look for better results, we aren't looking and asking different questions, we will never arrive at better solutions. If we have a health condition and we aren't willing to say, is there anybody out there or are there any other information that can help me heal from this? Well, if you don't ask that question, you will never find that answer. It's not more than likely not going to just drop in your lap. You have to go seek. And when you go seek, God can move in your life and bring in, through law of attraction, I believe, the right circumstances, situations, and people. But it's only there when your mind is open to seeing it, right? So we have to be willing to have a different perspective, ask different questions, be willing to not believe the limitations that other people in society may place on a certain topic of how much money can I make, or how healthy can I be? Can I heal this? Or how happy can I be? All those types of things can be limitations. And if we live in an abundant universe, there's essentially virtually no limitation to what we can have. It just goes back to our perceptions and our beliefs about doing those things. So if we can ask different questions, we can have better results in our life. Another one of my beliefs is you're either winning or you're learning. This is a Tom Brady principle. He talks about this all the time, that if you don't win and you're losing, inside of that loss are lessons that you can use to learn to be better, to be a better version. And it's only a positive situation if you see it that way. If you get stuck in a loss, and that loss could be a game, it could be a loss of money, it could be a loss of relationships, it could be a loss of health, it could be a loss of whatever. It doesn't have to be a game, right? A football game like Tom Brady. It can mean that when we lose, if we stay stuck on the loss and mulling over in our brain all the different aspects of, oh, I could have done this better, and I'm such a terrible person, and gosh, guys, I'm saying this stuff for me. I need this reminder just as much as anybody to not stay focused on that, but to turn our attention to what could I have done better? What could I have learned? How can I approach this different? How can I think about it different? Be willing to learn the lessons, and then there's no such thing as failure, because failure is only there if we accept it. If we continue to advance, then we don't participate in the failure. Now, the last belief that I have around abundance is it's my responsibility to leave the next generation better off than me. And this doesn't necessarily mean just money. That is a part of it for sure. And the financial principles that we talk about and teach clients about how to leverage what we do in our lifetime to become a multiplied transfer of assets, particularly money inside of a cash value whole life insurance policy, to the next generation is a cornerstone to how many wealthy families here in America, like the Rockefeller family, has been doing that exact thing for 6 generations. And while they're doing businesses and making money other places, one of the key strategies that they use to keeping and then multiplying wealth generationally is through cash value life insurance. So I believe, because I understand that framework and those money principles, it's my responsibility to not only teach my kids about life and be there for emotional support and guidance and give them the tools and resources they need to thrive in this world with what God developed them to come here to do. I also need to be setting up the structures so that they then aren't having to start over at zero when they become adults and start from the ground up and go through the same trials that I went through, maybe of struggling financially or whatever it is. I would rather them have higher level problems. To me, because we live in an expanding universe, if we can allow our children to have higher level struggles and higher level problems, then we've accomplished a big piece in what we can help the next generation do to accomplish their goals, dreams, and desires and their purpose in the world. Because if we don't elevate the next generation and they are staying stuck where they're still living paycheck to paycheck, and we were living paycheck to paycheck, and the generation before me was living paycheck to paycheck, we haven't learned any lessons across several generations, right? If we're not improving and we're not up leveling those types of things. So for me, I have a firm responsibility in me making sure that my children have expanded and elevated emotionally, mentally, with their health, with their relationships, with their career, with their purpose, spiritually, financially, all those things. I want to make sure that they have the opportunity, can't force it down their throat, right? But have the opportunity to make a positive, expansive evolution in their lifetime based on the things that we did. Dr. McCullough always says you build on the shoulders of giants. And I believe that to be so true. So if I can do my part to make sure that the next generation becomes a better version and can do bigger, better things, and I feel like I've accomplished my purpose. So those are a few of my beliefs about abundance. Let me know what yours are. Comment with this video. I'd like to know what some of your beliefs around abundance are. If you disagree with some of mine, great. That's totally cool. But I'd love to hear from you guys, some feedback about what it is. Thanks for viewing this video. Again, if you liked what I had to say, share this on social media with a few other people. And we'll look forward to connecting with you guys again real soon. Take care.